like it's theory. I've lived it. Most people talk about leadership like it's theory. I've lived it in the mud, the chaos, and the moments nobody writes about. This show is the truth, raw, unfiltered, and built for leaders who actually give a damn. If you're ready to grow, ready to own your own story, and ready to lead from the front, you're in the right place. Speak up, show up, lead. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Speak Up, Show Up, Lead. My name is JJ Hardy, your host, and today this is just going to be a solo episode, and we're going to talk about why you feel stuck and why it's probably not necessarily that you're lazy. It's called Why You Feel Stuck and Why It's Not Laziness. Okay, fair enough. Before we get started, just like always, I want to make sure I take the time to do put a plug in for my books. One, this is my newest book. Resilience is Built, Not Born, and it's basically a really fun guide. I don't skew my language at all, but it's a fun guide on how to become more resilient. If that interests you, go to Amazon. This one's also on Amazon. This is the leadership lessons that I've learned in my life. It's called Speak Up, Show Up, Lead, just like this podcast. And so Speak Up, Show Up, Lead, Resilience is Built, Not Born. They're both on Amazon.com. I highly encourage you to check them out and give them a go. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. All right. So let's just start off with the basics. So if you feel stuck right now, like no matter how hard you're working, nothing's really moving. I'll tell you something from the start that most people probably won't tell you. It's probably not because you're lazy. Likely it's because you're unclear, because you don't have a plan. And confusion will paralyze you faster than fear ever will. So, look, the people I talk to, solopreneurs, veterans, first-time leaders, sometimes leaders at any stage in their journey, they're not sitting around doing nothing. Actually, they're busy as hell, and they're thinking, planning, watching content, those YouTube videos that we all get hooked on once in a while. They're actually trying to figure it out, but nothing's actually moving forward. And that creates this lie in your head that you tell yourself. I mean, a common one would be that maybe I'm just not disciplined enough. Well, I don't think you're lacking discipline. That's not what it is. Likely what it is you're lacking direction, and maybe you're lacking a bit of a plan. So there's a big difference between being undisciplined and being confused. Undisciplined means you know exactly what to do and you choose not to do it. I don't think that's probably you. Confused means you don't even know what the right move is. That's probably closer. And most of you're operating in confusion. So you've got 10 ideas, 5 directions, and 0 clarity on what actually matters right now, so you hesitate. And hesitation looks like laziness from the outside, but it's not. It's really just a lack of clarity. And so here's the truth that nobody tells you. Clarity, it creates a bunch of things. It creates confidence, action, momentum, and it kind of builds. Because think about this. That clarity that creates the confidence, that confidence is probably what creates that ability to take action. And that ability to take action, once you keep going and you start having some wins, you don't really want to stop. And so it creates momentum. But if you don't know what success actually looks like specifically, then you're getting stuck. And that's okay. But don't guess. Guessing slows everything down. If anybody who knows me knows that I served a career in the military. And when we were in the military, oftentimes we didn't even move until we had a clear mission. As I gained rank, that changed, obviously, because I was that guy that was helping to create the plan. And so we had to build that. But soldiers don't move without orders. Not perfect orders, but I would call it a minimum viable order that's clear with actionable steps. And in business and leadership, people are just start running with no direction. It's like, where am I going? I have absolutely no idea. And they wonder why they're exhausted. It's because they're going nowhere. Overthinking, that does feel productive, especially when you're staying busy. But it feels like when you're not going anywhere that you're being irresponsible. But really, it's just fear wearing a smarter mask. You're trying to eliminate all of the risk before you move, which for anybody who's ever tried to eliminate risk and try to get it all figured out before you even move, well, guess what? You're always going to find a way to make things better. So why not just take action? Because every day you sit there thinking it through, you're kind of building up payment for that lost time. You have lost reps and lost confidence. You don't, not taking action, it'll actually start making you feel like what you're getting ready to do is impossible. And that's not what you want to do, because that is counterproductive. So let me hit you with something that might piss you off. I like to do that. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're productive. Answering emails, scrolling for ideas, reworking your logo for the 12th time, applying for jobs and not talking to anybody. That's that transitioning veteran. That's not progress. That's avoidance. And real productivity, real productivity moves forward. If you're not taking action, then you're not making progress. So let's think about that. Revenue, relationships, results, those come from taking action. If your day didn't move one of these, then you weren't productive. You were just busy. And this is where most people break, because you're still thinking like a worker. When you're on the ground and you're doing the work, you're not actually leading. You're just going through the motions. You're waiting for instructions, waiting for clarity from someone else, waiting to be told you're doing it right. But nobody's coming. Leaders don't wait. Leaders, they create direction. They create a plan. And that's the shift. It goes from tell me what to do to I decide what matters and I move on it. I make the plan and then we execute it. And yeah, that's super uncomfortable, but that's the job. That's being a business owner. That's moving the needle on your transition and becoming a leader in the civilian workforce after service. That's being an entrepreneur and actually getting the work done that's going to move the needle and start making you money, so you don't have to go back and work a job for somebody else. All right. Here's what I want you to do after I'm done with this episode. An actionable step. No overthinking, no notes, just action. Ask yourself, what is one thing in my life or my business that actually matters right now? Not 5 things, not 10. Let's get basic. One thing. And now answer this. What are the 3 next things to move that forward? Think goals, not just things in your life or business, actually goals in your life or business. What are 3 things to move that forward? And now listen closely, because this is the part that people avoid. What are you going to do today to execute step 1? That's it. It's not perfect, not complete. It's minimally viable. Just movement. Because movement creates clarity, And honestly, clarity, once you start taking action, it creates wins and it creates something to celebrate, and you actually start seeing the needle move. And if you're a business owner, you start getting clients and all this other stuff. And if you're a transitioning veteran, you might, if you have that conversation, you might get that job. If you're that first time leader, maybe having that difficult conversation that could improve that relationship with that one person. Whatever your one thing is that's going to move you forward, just do it. Because again, I'm going to repeat it. Movement creates clarity, not the other way around. You don't need to be clear 100% before you move, because if you keep on trying to push and push and push to create that perfect plan, you're never going to move, because no plan is ever perfect. And once you execute, it gets messy as hell anyway. Okay, so there were moments after I got out of the military where I felt completely lost. No mission, no structure, no direction. And I started asking myself, what am I going to do next? And then I started looking at all the things and it didn't look familiar. So I started questioning myself. Like, maybe I just didn't have what it takes anymore. But the truth is, that's bullshit. I didn't need motivation. I didn't need that mission again. Well, I did, but not in the way that I was thinking. I just needed to go and make that imperfect plan just like I did when I was on active duty and start taking action and moving forward. So let's close this out. Listen, you're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not a loser. You're just trying to operate without a clear target. You're just busy. And actually just being busy or not doing anything at all will stall anyone. Stop waiting for perfect clarity, create direction, take the next step, and adjust as you go. That's how real leaders move. And if this hits you, share it with someone else who's stuck right now. And if you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and move forward, follow the show and let's get to work. Because this is how we're going to be proceeding moving forward every single Monday. All right. And let's not forget, Speak Up, Show Up, Lead. The book, Resilience is Built, Not Born. The manual on how to help you become more resilient. They're on Amazon.com. Look up JJ Hardy on Amazon.com and you'll see the baseball player and you'll see my ugly mug. And I actually have 5 publications, but these are my 2 babies right now. You can buy any of them, but these are the 2 that these are all me. Didn't use AI, didn't use nothing. I wrote these books. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget, wherever you're listening to this or watching this, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and do all the things, and leave a comment below wherever you're seeing this. I'd like to know how you feel about it. Anyway, that's all I have to say for the day. Thank you all for tuning in.